To be honest, when I first fell ill, I almost lost all hope. I didn't think I'd be able to go back to university. I didn't think that I'd be able to do the things I love.
So it came as a massive shock. It was like a train crash in many ways, because you're going from one moment where you're perfectly functioning and everything's fine, and the next minute you've got a stoma and a bag on the side of your abdomen, and you're just kind of thinking, why me?
Being treated for cancer is obviously it's a cliche, but it's true, it's a roller coaster.
It looked like the future was quite bleak because there was going to be quite radical surgery.
But I was informed that my life was in danger. I needed life-saving surgery within the next fortnight.
August of last year, we found that my brother had been diagnosed with bowel cancer. While I was in the process of being seen by a consultant, within a few weeks of him being diagnosed, he actually died. Moreover, I had the sort of double whammy that it may be nothing, but I can't assume that anymore.
Hope is a force of nature. It's a very abstract feeling, but it's a very, very powerful feeling. The challenge is to use the hope in order to help people to endure their difficult journey. Our role is to help the person to unveil the hope within themselves. But we want to give people a realistic hope, a hope that doesn't ignore the despair, but at the same time looking towards a future free of bowel disease.
My hopes for the future? I hope St Mark's will continue to look after me. The day that St Mark's say, Peter, you're not welcome here anymore, is going to be, oh, crikey.
I feel very positive about the future. I feel that the disease has been attacked with the best possible weapons. I feel fine. I know there's never any certainty in cancer treatment. I'm totally aware of that. But I do believe that the outcome was as good as I could have expected.
I think at St Mark's, I've been really inspired to see beyond bowel disease. Just because I'm attached to an intravenous feed for 14 hours a day, it doesn't mean that I have to plan my life around my condition. I can live my life and manage my condition on the side. I still have the same goals and ambitions. It just takes a bit longer to get there.
My own research portfolio is fairly broad. I tend to concentrate research into big data. So this is something that really has only come about in the last 20 years, but we actually have access to very large data sets that we can actually start to investigate, to look into disease trends and also, extremely importantly, treatments. This has really been about looking at population level data and actually identifying the variation that goes on in outcomes, in the quality of healthcare that's actually ultimately delivered to individuals. So CTOC is the Surgical Epidemiology Trials and Outcome Centre, and currently we have 10 research fellows all doing postgraduate degrees. In my opinion, CTOC has brought a stake in one of the most contemporary areas of surgical research.
We focus a lot on St Mark's and the care that we give patients here, but we also have a really major role in trying to disseminate that out, both nationally and internationally, so that all patients anywhere in the world with colorectal or gastrointestinal disease can be given the highest quality treatment. We already do run a very comprehensive educational program. Just as an example, at the moment we have somebody with us from Sri Lanka. I'm about to go to Russia to be involved in a training course there. Really all over the world, and people are aware of St Mark's as a centre of excellent training that they can come to, but there are also a lot of future opportunities to widen up our scope, to give more people access to the message that we have.
So the concept of the Colonoscopic Surgical Unit, or CSU, is to develop a world-leading facility where we can treat patients with complex polyps and early colorectal cancers. The unit would bring together the skills of the laparoscopic surgeon and the therapeutic endoscopist. Patients will be at the centre of the Colonoscopic Surgical Unit, but around them we will build a training and research programme which will allow us to look at new treatments and new innovations We'll look at training and bringing people into the unit so that the skills that we've developed here can be disseminated throughout the country and internationally.
Our research interest lies in devising novel techniques such as TASER, meaning transanal submucosal endoscopic resection, and innovative devices like Speedboat, great assets to treat precancerous polyps and beat the bowel cancer. Mr. Vivian, he was referred to us with a large giant polyp measuring 18 centimeters, and it was really difficult to excise the polyp in one session, so he underwent 2 sessions.
I had the first operation on the 16th of October last year. They took out a large growth, but they didn't get it all out because it had taken them 8 hours. And they said that they thought that I'd had enough. I secretly think that they'd probably had enough after 8 hours of concentration. I returned in February of 2014 to have the rest removed. So it is, as you say, nothing more than an ingrown toenail in a way. You come in here for a few nights, you're treated very well, and that's it.
So in my first meeting with Professor Kennedy, he explained that as a result of the colonoscopy that I needed to have a procedure to remove the polyps. And then he started speaking about his research and the research that he had been doing on a procedure called Flex. So I asked him how many of these operations had he carried out up to this point, to which he answered, Mrs. O'Hare, you will be the first.
The first Flex procedure, I would say the results are fantastic. First of all, we could do it, which is the first time I'm aware it's ever been done in this way. And secondly, Mrs. O'Hare recovered extremely well. She was able to go home 2 days after her operation and hasn't looked back. In the next 2 to 4 years, what we'll do is we'll see more Flex procedures being performed at St Mark's as we continue to modify and perfect the technique. In the longer term, that is the next 5 to 10 years, I would be very surprised if we are not treating a large proportion of early cancers with a Flex procedure. If we are able to treat a significant proportion of early cancers, we will take 2,000 to 4,000 people a year out of major surgery in this country, and that will be equally applicable throughout the world.
Over the years, there are a number of different advances that have come through St Mark's that relate to clinical regimes, the electrolyte mix that's being developed for patients for short bowel, for example, and also really good description of the short bowel regime of the different medications. And we are looking a long way ahead with tissue engineering of the bowel as well.
Before coming to St Mark's, I was a patient at another central London hospital. Unfortunately, they didn't really understand the nature of my bowel disease, but I was really pleasantly surprised when I came. I felt so welcomed, and it was a fresh start, and I was really pleased with that. I think the way that St Mark's works is really brilliant, because what's special is that everybody is up to date with who you are and what's going on. So even if you haven't met somebody before, it's really nice when they come in and they introduce themselves and they make an effort to sort of have a conversation with you rather than just throw questions at you. Just the combination of the different jobs that everybody does is so great, because everybody has their own part and their own role in looking after you, but at the same time it's one team and it's all, the care is seamless.
During the year when I was being treated for bowel cancer, I thought about how I could give something back to the hospital where I was treated. One day I had this idea to do a circular, broadly circular route, but in the shape of a colon. I chose the distance of 280 miles because it's a little bit further than the London to Paris rides, which a lot of fundraisers use. And we would finish in London, and I chose to finish at the Arsenal football stadium, the Emirates Stadium, which I thought was the appropriate place to finish a colon challenge.
It was quite an impulsive decision, actually, to be honest. I just wanted to do something to say thank you to St Mark's and everybody that supports St Mark's just for helping me get to where I was. I'm swimming 2.5 kilometres in aid of St Mark's, and I'm looking to do that at the Olympic pool in Stratford. No, I just want to say thank you to everybody at St Mark's, not just the doctors and the medical staff, but everybody that does sort of the fundraising and that looks after that side of everything, because, you know, without either aspect, St Mark's wouldn't be St Mark's.
So I really feel that I have been looked after, and I'm so grateful because the whole staff helped save my life, and I'm so grateful for that. That's why I've become a patron of St Mark's.
Without the support and research at St Mark's, I wouldn't still be here. I honestly do believe that. To me, it's made a difference between having a life worth living and perhaps something that wasn't.
When you have first-class surgery, really first-class surgery, performed by people who know the disease inside and out, you could put them on a desert island, get them blind drunk, and they could still tell you everything you wanted to know and more about the condition. These people don't grow on trees.
St Mark's does a really good job, and we're really looking forward to seeing more and looking forward to being on the receiving end of all the research and all the good work that is being done, because it's so worthwhile and we really need it, but we really appreciate it too.
There aren't any words that you can say thank you, because I could win the lottery tomorrow night or whenever they run it, and I could give them all the money, and that wouldn't be enough. It changes people's lives as though there was nothing wrong in the first place.